We're back on another episode of Behind the Book. We're going to be talking with Judith Virag of Clean Club Calgary, from business meltdown to business coaching. Stick around for more. Welcome to Behind the Book, where I am your guide, Heather Andrews, unraveling the captivating stories from behind the pages. Join me as I sit down with authors from the literary landscape to delve into challenges, inspirations, and untold tales that breathe life into their written worlds. Welcome to Behind the Book. We are back with Judith, and in her previous episode, which you'll want to tune into, she talks about how she came from Hungary as a 15-year-old and really moved into that space of corporate and then realized the plot twist of creating her own company. So today we're back with Judith. Thank you for coming back.
Thank you for having me again.
Absolutely. And where we left off in the last episode, we had talked a little bit about the plot twist on how you went from corporate to owning your own business, hence business meltdown to business coaching. We're going to start there. Can you give us a little bit of what that business meltdown looked like?
Yeah, so culture. I did not have a culture in my business. So where we left off in the last episode, that I, started my own business and I started cleaning, and I never thought that I actually would want to have a business, but I was being referred at such a fast pace that I was like, well, I want to keep this up, and I'm just going to hire people.
Right.
So with that hiring came the biggest mistakes that you can have in business. Is I hired family and friends. Not that there was anything wrong with them, it's just the relationship was really strained. So it was really, really difficult for me. And then there's a lot of malice and a lot of gossip and things like that started in my company. So in 2015, I literally had a business meltdown. I just lost it. And you know how it is when you want to get a divorce?
Yep. Been there twice.
And then you, for some reason, instead of Googling, divorce lawyer, you Google a therapist.
Right.
So that's what happened to me.
Okay.
Instead of Googling like, how do I get out of my business, is I Googled business coach.
Got it.
Yeah. And I found an excellent business coach. We worked together for 7 years, and Vince had helped me on so many levels. I can't even tell you. And the first one, when he came in, he started looking at my numbers. And I was really confused. And I was like, why is he looking at my numbers? I'm clearly a bad boss. I'm broken. I'm not doing the things right. This is an HR issue. Going back to my corporate, right? This is definitely an HR issue. And then he just was really calm, and he said to me, Judith, numbers don't lie. And then so once he went through my financials and everything, it did come out that I was, overpaying my staff. I was really nice to my staff. I wasn't happy because I wasn't being paid. I wasn't making any money and things like that. So that's how our journey started. And then Vince came in and he facilitated a workshop, and he said, you need to work on your culture. I had no idea what that was. You're a certain person. Right. Some things are deal breakers for you and some not. But I didn't know that in my business. So we needed to set our own culture, our own values, work through that. And then Vince helped us with that.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love how you went to Google and said, how do I get out of this? Business coach, because you knew you needed help.
Yeah.
And that really is a space of how passionate you are about your company and how much you believed in it, that you actually asked for help.
Yeah, asking for help. I think a lot of people are really afraid of it, because I think deep down we're afraid that we are being criticized. But my opinion is that if you have people working for you, you have to be at your very best.
Absolutely.
Because people don't leave a job. They're just going to leave a boss who's just not up to par. Right. So you have to, as a owner, you have to work on yourself every day.
Beautiful. I love that. And speaking of culture, this took you on a little bit of a journey that you never thought that you would probably really do. And how did you come into the book Culture Revolution, which will be launching here in June very soon, and you're a part of that? How did you know that you had a story to tell, and why did you want to become a part of that book?
It was very interesting. I have worked with Adam and Kate before.
Right.
They actually did some culture videos for me. We recorded fantastic videos, and they approached me. And I was like, no, this isn't for me. And again, this is going back to one of my limited beliefs is English is my second language, so therefore I'm actually not good at writing. And they approached me again. I was like, I don't know, let me think about it and whatnot. I really liked Adam and Kate because we already worked together and I knew what they could bring to the table. I was just afraid. Mm-hmm. I was just honestly afraid. Like, what is this gonna look like, and I've never done anything like this before. And I just have to say that the process was fantastic.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so it's a really simple answer. I just kind of was, brought into it. And I think somebody from the outside sees, because we work together and they heard my story and everything, and somebody from the outside sees that you have a story to tell when you lived it.
Yeah.
So it's normal, right?
Yeah, I love that. And as you walked the telling story process, we'll call it, what was your biggest aha moment?
Well, actually working with you, our Zoom call was like, boom. It was like, I can actually do this. Because, and what I liked about it, that I think I'm just getting my feet wet right now, is, working with 13 other wonderful people. And just getting my feet wet. So that process was really good. And I'm fascinated that people think that I have a story. I'll be honest with you. I'm like, really? So it's just interesting. And I have to say, if I'm completely honest, I feel like sometimes it's feeding my ego a little bit. But I like to leave that outside at the door, because when I hire, I always say I don't want any mini-me, because mini-me's are just going to be a yes people, and I don't want that. So, but there's always, like, if we're really honest with ourselves, we always have a little bit of our ego. But then when I really, really think about it, I did go through a journey that can maybe help another new business owner. Like maybe they hear my story and they're like, you know what, actually a business coach is not a bad idea. Or, if they hear my story, maybe talking about culture and trying to figure out what that is in a company setting, how is that going to help me? So maybe there is some merit to it, maybe some good to it,
Well, when we did our Zoom call that day, when we first started writing, one of the things that came to me was you've come full circle, because when you came to Canada, you needed assistance in finding a job, and that's how you landed up cleaning. And then it took you into the world of corporate, and then you decided, no, I'm not doing this because there's no reward here. Then you started your company, which you went through your business coaching and you grew and you became a better leader, and that made you better and aware of how powerful your story was. And then it brought you back to helping others who are sort of on the same journey 20 years later.
Yeah.
And that's really what came to me, was you had to go through your space to create a space for others to come in so that they can have that sort of their journey here in Canada as well.
No, exactly. And I think a lot of times I see the immigration right now, and obviously from the Ukraine, a lot of people are coming in. We have half of our staff is Ukrainian. And I look at their journey and I see myself. Absolutely. I see myself not speaking English. I see myself going into class, and my mom told me, just smile and say yes. So they asked what my name was, and I was just smiling and saying yes. You know what I mean? I see myself, and they are struggling. And I think right now it's even harder than it was for me, because we have all these tools. we have an iPhone or smartphone or whatever that is, and then they just stick it in my face and they're, read it, and they don't actually read it. So they're like not learning. So I'm like creating vocabularies for them. And then when I go out on site and visit, I tell them, just tell me in your own words. And sometimes actually their English is pretty good, but they are so self-conscious, like where I was.
Right.
So there's so many things I can relate back, and then I can just tell them, if I can just hug them and tell them it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna be okay. First few years are gonna be, difficult. You're gonna struggle a lot. You're gonna have lots of questions, but then slowly it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're mentoring them as well as you were mentored.
Absolutely. Yes.
And we all need a mentor, or that hand that's going to say, hey, come over here and be in a safe space, and they have that safe space to thrive.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful.
We had that lady. I never forget her. She took my mom grocery shopping,
right.
And she did, she put me in school. She literally shoved me in there. If it wasn't for her, I don't think I'd be here.
Right.
That mentor, I would not be here, because I probably would have had to go to evening school. So I would have had to work during the day. Mm-hmm. And I don't think I would have been immersed into that really good culture of going through high school.
Yeah.
Everybody goes back to high school and they go back to their memories there. Yeah. And I had great memories.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I would love to know, has anyone that you has worked for you, have they left and started their own cleaning company?
Actually, they have. And I network quite well with other cleaning companies here in Calgary, because I firmly believe that we got to work together to bring the industry up. And Martina came here from Croatia. She didn't speak any English, and now she owns her own company. And we actually do work together. Sometimes when we're too busy, or sometimes, because we do have our ICP pretty nailed down now. And if it's not aligning for us, we'll ask Martina if she wants to take it on. So we refer to each other back and forth. Yes, I'm really, really proud of her.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that. Where can people find you on social media? Because I know that your company does amazing cleaning and everybody needs one. And if you don't have one, you need one. Judith is your lady. Where can people find you on social media?
Oh, excellent question. So we can actually be found on Facebook at Clean Club Calgary, and then also on Instagram at Clean Club Calgary. We also have a YouTube channel, Clean Club Calgary, and then we also have TikTok, Clean Club Calgary.
So Clean Club Calgary is where you need to go. Join us next time as we continue our author journey with Judith on Tell Your Story Your Way, as every story has a unique version that someone will find inspirational. As we close another chapter on Behind the Book, I want to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our wonderful authors for sharing their stories. I'm Heather Andrews, reminding you that the adventure doesn't end here. Keep turning those pages, and I will see you next time.